Hello and welcome. I want to talk about leadership reflection today. I want to talk about how you can build a practice for yourself or for your leadership team of reflecting on your leadership. Why is this important? Leadership is ephemeral. You don't remember really what kind of leadership you've done in the last week or in the last months. When leaders get together to reflect in a retrospective, if they do something like that, they will frequently not remember the most important things. They will remember the most recent things. They will remember the most catastrophic and striking things. But recognizing patterns in your day-to-day leadership is really difficult. So many things catch our attention. So many things need to be accounted for. So many things come into our mind and go, need decisions and understanding and empathy and whatever. So the only thing that helps you is to actually keep a journal, keep a log of what's happening in your day, so that at the end of the week you can reflect, and at the end of the month you can reflect, and then you can detect patterns and you can find out what's interesting. And with this video I want to give you quick instructions on how to get started doing this. So, leadership log. What does that mean? So once a day, just as an example, if you don't manage to do it every day, just adjust the time frequencies to whatever fits your schedule. It's more important that you do it than how often you do it. The method will scale to different time availabilities. Don't stretch yourself too much. You actually want to do it regularly. So rather do it every few days than wanting to do it every day and then not doing it at all. So for the sake of this consistency, for the sake of this example, I'll assume that you do this at the end of the day. So we have a daily log. And this might list something like, what has puzzled me today? What has surprised me? What am I worried about? What was actually causing emotions? You don't want to capture everything that's happened, maybe striking things. What was striking? And what decisions did you make? These are just examples. One thing that I consider fairly essential, though, do this in a different color, is indicators. Things that happened that tell you, that give you evidence of something that you wanted, some impact that you were looking for has actually happened. Let's say you have somebody in your team who never speaks up in meetings, and you want to motivate them to raise their voice. So you might do different things to encourage that, and at some point you notice, wow, they've spoken. You write this down. A few days later, they speak up again. You write it down again, so that you begin noticing the pattern and you can start giving them feedback, for instance. Obviously, if you're paying attention like that, you might give them feedback directly, but maybe you don't get to do that. So this is about improving your leadership with these little bits and pieces so that you can get big improvements over time. Let's say you have noted this kind of thing every day. This might take 5 minutes, maybe 10. Don't overdo it. This is about capturing something that's important to just basically increase your memory, improve your memory. So at the end of that week, you will go back and do a weekly reflection. And the main thing with the weekly reflection is that you want to identify patterns. You want to know what happens regularly, what happens occasionally, what happens every other day, and what connections can you see? Are there relations between things? And as you do this regularly, maybe you notice something this week that you remember from noticing last week. So you might go back and look at last week's notes as well and see, oh wow, once a week I'm feeling this, I'm worried about that. something surprising happens every Wednesday. Maybe you find out the reason. Some questions to guide your reflection for patterns. What is different? And this can be different from your expectations, different from last week, different from what you wanted. Just look at what is different, what is similar, and what is surprising. So now, let's say a month has passed. You've done a daily log most days. You've done a weekly reflection every week, looking on these days, noticing some things. And now, at the end of the month, and this is something that you might want to do together with colleagues, you do a monthly reflection, something like a retrospective. And you share the patterns that you've seen. You share the things that surprised you. You share, depending on the level of trust in your leadership team, you might share details. You could create a shared document where all of you put these things in and everybody can read everybody's log. That would be awesome in terms of transparency. But maybe this is too much to start with. But the patterns that you see, the learnings that you had. So what are we learning is a good question here. What is growing? What is common and uncommon? And again, what is different? What is similar? What is surprising? Pattern detection, sense making. And again, this doesn't need to take hours. So if you can carve 30 minutes out of your month as a leadership team to sit together and to look at what each of you prepared, if you go well prepared into that meeting, that could gain great insights and give you good material to improve on. And then just make a few key decisions or improvement intentions. What do we want to change? Or what do we want to investigate? What do we want to pay attention to? You have teams that do retrospectives, teams that improve. What do they need? Maybe this gives you material to check. Are the things that people asking for, do they get backed up by the data that we gather here? This is supposed to add information, add knowledge, accumulate wisdom in the leadership practice in your organization, so that through the different levels, in the different elements of the organization, the different organizational pockets, learning can start to emerge and improvement can start to become a common practice. And that's what will enable agility, improvement, transformation, new kind of culture to thrive. Let me know how it goes. Have fun. Thank you very much.